Hi everyone! Today it's such a beautiful Sunday that I thought I would sit down, have some coffee, and talk about appliques. You've probably noticed on my channel that I have tons of appliques. You're probably thinking, Marlise, why do you have so many appliques? I want blankets, I want bigger projects. I don't want these little appliques. So I'm going to tell you some of the reasons why I like appliques and why I have so many on my channel. So first of all, appliques are super fast. They don't take up much yarn. You can make them in just a little bit of time. So if you just have, 10 minutes here or there, they're super easy to just whip up really quick. You can use any yarn, any size hook, and then you have a stack of little appliques. And I'm going to show you my stack of appliques. From a YouTube standpoint, appliques are so much easier to produce and to post videos of. So for example, for a YouTuber that does a craft like this, they have to actually think up the project. So come up with their pattern, think what they want to do, then they have to execute it and, actually crochet it or knit it or whatever. And both of those things take so much time. Once you have your project thought up and you've made even just a little sampler of it, you then have to film yourself making it and explaining the steps. So all of those things together take up so much time. And then you have to edit and post the video. When you're a new YouTuber, your name isn't out in the world of YouTube yet. And so the more that you can upload videos, the more that you can post, the more your name gets out there. And the easiest way to do that is to do little projects. I love appliques anyway, so it's sort of a no-brainer for me. I want to make the appliques. I want to have a whole bunch in my stash for another project, and it allows me to put up my videos and get my name out there a little bit quicker. Personally, I have appliques because I just love to make them. Like I said earlier, they're really quick and they're really easy. So once you pick up that pattern, you can just whip out a whole bunch at a time. Appliques are wonderful little accent pieces to add to almost anything. You can add them to clothes, you can add them to bags, purses, you can add them all together, string them up into a garland. I mean, there's really no right or wrong way to use an applique. So I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the appliques that I have. Here are my little 6-petal flowers, and I do have a tutorial, and for any of these appliques that I have a tutorial for, you can find any of these on my channel, or I will put a link to the applique playlist down below. These flowers I just did recently, so there's a video for these. You can make them in any colors that you want. So I used a solid yellow for the center, and then you just alternate the petals, the petal colors, and you can see on the back I've slip stitched around, and that way there's nothing hanging. But again, the tutorial is on my channel and in a link below. Here's a sort of a dark pink and green, or light pink and green. Got a purple and green, and then this one I just kind of went a little bit off from the pinks and purples, and I did an orange and a red. So those are some of the flower ones that I've done, and I will have more. I'm not going to stop doing appliques. I'm working on blankets and bigger projects as I do these little appliques, but I just like to have content posted so people don't forget who I am. And I like to teach, so if I come up with a new pattern, I want people to see that and take it in their own direction. Here is a little triangle, and I was trying to go for a pennant. So I made a triangle, and then I outlined it in this variegated color, and then I made a little heart. And this heart, I have a garland that is continuous using the pattern for this heart. I also have earrings that has this pattern without the continuous garland part. So if you're looking for just a really simple heart, then I'll put the link for the heart garland and the heart earrings down below so you can check those out too. Little basketballs, I do have a tutorial for that. And these are really easy. It's just a few rounds in the round, and then you sort of just stitch on the black lacing. Now this one I don't have a tutorial on. I was just sort of playing around, and it's supposed to be a little peep for Easter. And I always run these by my daughter to make sure that they look okay, and she wasn't happy with this one, so this one needs to go back to the workshop a little bit, but he's kind of cute. And I do have an actual bunny one that I've done, which it's not like the sitting up bunny like this. It's sort of, I don't know, sort of on its side. And that one is really cute. There's a football that I did, and this was one of my earliest videos. Again, really easy. You're working in the round, but in more of an oval shape, and then you just stitch on the lacing. And I have a Tunisian crochet candy corn, but I thought that they were so neat, and then with the different borders on them, you could customize these for whatever project you're looking to make. So you can see I tried a whole bunch of different, and I like this one too, this white border. I tried a whole bunch of different colors, and this one's a purple, so it's almost the same color as that black, but it's a dark purple. And then I have some where I have not yet woven in the ends. You can see my ends are kind of hanging. And these are little shamrocks, and I made these out of purple, and I don't have a tutorial for these. I believe I got this from a book or something, and so they're not my pattern. And I don't do other people's patterns. I won't do a tutorial on somebody else's pattern unless I'm specifically asked to do that. So this was just me messing around with a pattern that I had found. But I like to leave the ends in sometimes if I think I'm going to sew this onto another project, because that just gives me, I don't have to take a separate piece of yarn or string or whatever and weave those in. I can just use what I have on the backs here. Same thing for these little snowflakes. So they're kind of like granny snowflakes. You can kind of see that. They're super pretty. I used a couple different colors, and these I have made strung into garlands. These ones I think I'm going to sew onto something. I'm not sure, so again I left the little backs on. Next we have cherries, and you can see these I did not attach the two cherries together, so they're just kind of hanging like that. And these ones I did. So it really depends on the kind of project that you want. If you're going to make these into a garland, you know, whichever style you want. If you're going to sew them onto something, then you can leave them separated and then sew them on to whatever fabric that you want, however you want. Finally, and this is about to be a tutorial, this is a little strawberry, and it's sort of a granny style. I made it with the green and then the pink, and they're really fast, really easy. You can string these up, you can sew them, you can add a little hook, a little ring, and make them into a keychain. So those are all of the appliques in my stash, and every once in a while I pull them out, and if I make a basket, for example, I just made the granny square base basket, I will take some of these appliques, especially the flowers, but depending on the season, and I can sew them around the basket. I can put them all along the handle. It's really, the possibilities are endless. So appliques, you can't go wrong. You can even sew them onto blankets if you wanted to. If you had a big sort of a blanket that needed maybe a little accent in the corner or something, I mean, take an applique and sew it on. So I hope you enjoyed this quick little rundown of appliques, why I post so many applique videos, and why I have so many in my stash and why I like them. And lastly, but certainly not least, my daughter decided she wanted to cook for us last weekend. And so we filmed a little bit of that here and there, and she made a white cake, a double tiered white cake. And then she made us some chicken and steak quesadillas along with homemade pico de gallo salsa to go with chips. So we videoed that a little bit, and I thought I would post at the end of this video just as a coffee, crochet, and cooking maybe. Have a wonderful week wherever you are, and take some time out to do something for yourself, some knitting, some crochet, some crafting. And until next time, happy crafting, everyone. Bye.